Hello.
Hello? You good?
Yeah, oh, did I don't know if it went through. I said I was ready.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, what are things that I assume this is you? Yeah. Okay, it's you. Uh, all right. So, what do you feel like are your issues? What do you want to work on? What are your goals, etc., etc.? Just hit me with all of it. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you hear what I just said, or did that not go through?
What should like I think so, yeah.
Okay. So like, what are things you want to work on? What do you think you're like weak at? Like, what are your goals for Overwatch? Like, just hit me with everything. Hello?
Wait, what?
Uh, am I like cutting out or something? What's going on here?
No? Like can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you just keep saying like hello every once in a while and I
You're not
well,
hearing the first half of it?
no, I do, but like I'm talking, but I don't know.
Oh, so that's weird. Um,
Am I cutting out?
Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not he after I say that, I don't hear anything coming from you.
Second.
You're talking right now, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now? Yeah.
Okay. So, my goals are right now to reach Masters, but the end goal is to reach GM before Overwatch 2 comes out. What I think I did pretty bad here was comm-wise. I didn't stick to the plan because my team was trying to go down main against Junk Farah, and I thought we were going, and I said, let's go height, and we didn't really follow that. And how do I play with Moira Mercy as heals instead, like on a Lucio? Lucio.
Um, okay, so a lot to unpack there. So the first thing is if like you're trying to get your team to go high ground and they're actually just straight up not listening to you, you just kind of have to follow them, unfortunately. In an ideal
Okay.
world, they'll listen to you and follow the Reinhardt because that's what you're supposed to do in most cases. So if you want to clear high ground, right? I assume this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Then that's fine. Uh, but you can also potentially do this on your own if you do it fast enough before your team like starts inting. You just kind of have to read on what your team is doing. If your team like is trying to go main and they're just sitting there but they're not doing anything, then it's okay for you to go clear, right? But
Okay.
if they're just trying to like aggro for some reason without their Rein, right, you just kind of have to follow them, right?
Okay.
Um, in terms of how to play with Moira Mercy, um, there's not like a clear answer to this, because it's not really like a comp that like has a lot of notable strengths, so it gets a lot of playtime. But what it does mean is like generally speaking, you're going to play a little bit slower, in some aspects because Mercy is like much better with DPS, right? Um, but also like Moira runs out of meter at some point, so you do need to get aggressive and create opportunities for your Moira to like right click people, right? Um, so the hero comp doesn't really change much for you. Obviously, if you had a Lucio, it'd be like ideal. Um, but like your job doesn't really change, right? It's just like the pace at which you do it, and also sometimes the order. Um, I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah, I understand a bit.
Okay.
Justice will be
All right.
done.
Anything else before we get started?
Um, Against spam, like junk far is what they're gonna run. We knew that from the start. Like, how would you play against that if you knew?
So against Pharah in particular, there's not a lot you can specifically do against her other than like limit her angles, call her positions, right? Um, and then also like just push the tempo against Pharah because Pharah really needs to play slow. And then like look for flanks because uh how do I explain? They're dedicating a mercy pocket to her, so the rest of the team cannot really do a whole lot, right? They're not going to run a Lucio. Typically speaking, the other support has to be like a very like healing intensive support without a lot of utility, right? With the exception of being Ana because she does both, right? Which gives you an opportunity to just run over the front line if you can get there before the fire does a lot of damage, right? So it's mostly about pathing, controlling angles that the fire can take on you, and then getting like one big push on the team before the fire does something, right? And Junkrat's kind of the same deal, except that he punishes chokes more than he does like speed, right?
Okay.
So clearing high ground is like pretty good, assuming you don't get blasted by fire sitting right here, right? Um, and then you just want to get onto the enemy team really. You're just looking to get aggressive, and then also generally speaking, any pressure you can get on the enemy flex support is always going to be valuable because the Mercy doesn't want to leave the Pharah. So
Okay.
if you can like if you have speed, running at the other flex support's like pretty good. If you can just happen to land a Fire Strike on her, it can actually be really value because like if it's an Ana, she has to nade herself, etc., right? Um, but that's more of a micro thing.
Okay. So a little backstory from this.
Okay.
I think I already told you we knew they were running junk Farah,
Yep.
and we said let's go height.
Is this like a
Uh,
stacked game? Like
no, it's just random
okay.
people who are friends with enemies. I Other than that, we knew we had a Moira one trick. I don't know. Uh, Partway through the game, our team was starting to blame the Moira. I don't know if that was their fault. I think I kind of did bad because there's a time when I went to high ground by myself and the enemy Orion was one in main, and it was a little late because I was already going upstairs. Is that just like overall awareness or like what?
It's very contextual. You're generally speaking, if you're really focusing on high grounds as Ryan, you're probably doing okay. But if your team's not like listening to you or following you around, then it kind of doesn't matter that you're doing the right thing because everyone else is doing the wrong thing, right? So you kind of have to go all in with your team on doing the wrong thing together, you know?
Okay,
So in ideal world, you can just tell your team to come with you, go high ground, right? You clear the high ground, and then you get to do what you want to do, right? But if they're straight up not listening to you, or they're not voicing something, like you can try to like say group up with me and start walking to the jump pad or the elevator or whatever, right? But if they're not going, right, they're not coming, right?
okay.
So very contextual. Like half the ranked experience or ranked gameplay is just trying to figure out like what your teammates are doing and how to play around that. um, yeah.
No, thank you. You and your colleagues discredit the field of science. I want nothing to do with it. What?
Oh, we're off to a great start.
So when the Far's just poking, should I shield it or no?
Uh, so
Like you saw me
yeah,
jumping like,
yeah,
and
you
shielding.
blocked every single shot, which was pretty cool. That said, it again it depends. With this comp, you kind of don't want to take the damage, right?
Okay.
If you had an Ana, like taking damage, building nano, like not the end of the world, right? You're feeding the barrage a bit, but like the barrage isn't that big of a deal. It kind of, I mean, it's kind of a big deal, but like if like you build, your nano will come up first usually, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, like she's not going to build barrage before like you get in typically, so it's not the end of the world. It depends on like you sort of want to balance your shield and HP, right? If you have like more less limited healing when you're walking in, um, so that means that like you don't want to take all shield damage walking in or all HP damage, right? You kind of want to just like get a bit of both so that you can be healed, you can recharge from shield, and it takes a relatively little time to be ready to fight, right?
Okay.
But if you take only one, right now you have to wait for a while for your whole shield to recharge, right?
Yeah.
This is pretty good pathing overall. Like you're playing this side of the map, so like you're not like eating extra damage, so you can charge your shield while also like posing some threat, right? Hang on one sec.
Okay. I see some things.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying I see some of the things I'm trying to do wrong there.
Yeah. Well, what would you describe that as? What were
Like
the
I should just we it wasn't really like I had a game plan. It looked like just didn't know what I was doing. Just standing there trying to swing and whatever. I should have just gone down main shielded so my DPS could walk upstairs.
Yeah, that was definitely what I was about to say. You just don't have a lot of decisiveness in this moment. So like you kind of yeah, like you said, you kind of just sit there, you hold shield, right? Your Zarya's into the map, your McCree's trying to walk in, and you're just kind of sitting here, right? That's okay if you're waiting for something, like you need to get healed to some extent right now, right? But you still need to like apply pressure and either like open space for your team to like walk in, right, or open space for your team to do things as like by pressuring the enemy main tank or enemy tanks, right? Um, Obviously don't die doing either of these, right? Um, like your team is just getting like blasted and choke, and they're not walking forward, right? And you can sort of give them confidence, right? And ask them to, if you're in comms, you can ask them to walk forward while you're doing this as well, right? And get into the map, and then now you can get like a hit scan over here, a hit scan maybe flanking, right? And now you have options to deal with the Pharah, right? But from
Okay.
here, like this doesn't work, right? This is just misery, right? Yeah, like you're backing up, you're walking forward, you trade with the Rein a bit. Bubble gets wasted. Is this what you're talking about with the Rein was one you were backing up?
Yeah, that was my bad. Like, I thought I saw their Ana back there, and I thought they were just gonna keep supporting them because I wasn't up there yet. But I should have realized that our whole team was just holding W.
Yeah, so again, like this doesn't really mean anything. Like clearing the high ground is good, but it doesn't really mean anything if your team isn't like using it. And also for what's worth, by the way, you're not specifically the one who has to clear the high ground every time, right? So your Zarya has already done it, right?
Okay.
He's already done it.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah. So there's probably maybe a bit of awareness, like keep track of what your teammates are doing. But your Zarya's already cleared the high ground, so you don't have to worry about it anymore, right? All you going to high ground is to, like get your accomplishes is getting your DPS up here with a shield, right? But if your DPS aren't going high ground, what's the point, right? Right.
Yeah.
So again, read what your teammates are doing, right, and see if they're following you. So here, right, you see your McCree walk in and flash, right? It doesn't matter if you want to go high ground anymore, right? It's time to walk in and at least like trade with this Rein and see if your McCree is willing to back up.
Okay.
This is probably a pin if you see this, by the way. She's straight up not looking at you, right? You get a pin, hit her in this wall, like.
I was
potential
trying to hit her down with my like melee. I was trying to time that right so our team could kill her. I didn't want to charge because I thought their Ryan had charge and I might have died, but I don't know.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of a difficult charge though. And then on top of that, you saw he was low a second ago, right?
Yeah.
So he's presumably running out of stuff, right? And he's running out of shield. He just got nade. So if he takes a trade with you, right, you're presumably. I guess you don't have a bubble, but you know, it's like it's not that bad, and like it's okay to take risks so long as like this looks okay, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like as long as the charge doesn't put you like over here, right? You're chilling.
Yeah, I think I failed knocking her down. I don't know.
We just got the bubble, so. Oh, pain. Alright, so this is something that matters less the more coordinated your team is. But in a less coordinated environment, it's really important that when you push out, you push wide, unless you know he has Shatter.
Okay.
So yes, so either you trade on this corner and you just go for max value trades where you just barely peek with your shield, you know that attack, right? Or sorry, barely peek with your hammer, sorry.
Yeah.
And just get like max damage, right? Or if you're trying to push, right? Which in this case you should be, because like both you force them to low ground, and if you wait any longer, someone's gonna go to high ground, right? So you need to like you need to create action right now as soon as you drop. Hang on. All right. So when you do push, right? You want to push this way, right? You want to push wide to force like the off angle out, right? And create space for your team, right? So either they shoot at your team or they're shooting at you, and you're creating space, right?
Okay.
Just by like walking in this direction, you know what I mean? So you obviously can't do this via Shatter, because via Shatter just walks on the corner and shatters, right? But you can do this most of the time, especially with speed. And just in general, you don't want to, when you're engaging, you don't actually want to walk at the Reinhardt very much. You want to walk at the people behind the Reinhardt. Because of the people you're actually likely to pressure, right? And it makes the Reinhardt have to make a decision on what he wants to do, whether he wants to block you off, right? Or once he wants to hit you, right? And either outcome is like not too bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just really conditioned to holding corners.
Yeah, corners are good, but if you want like to more reliably carry, right? And you need to create action, right? So just trading with the Rein, right? How likely is it the Rein is going to die, right?
Not very likely.
Not very likely, because because he has an Ana pocket, and no one in your team can shoot him, right? He's behind the corner, right? Meanwhile, the Zarya is off-angling and applying a lot of pressure to your team, right? And you'll always be taking more damage than you're dealing, right? Because you're eating pressure on the Zarya, potentially the Ana, and the Rein, right? Well, the Rein is just taking pressure from you, right? So
Okay.
if you, in order to create a fight, right, in an ideal world, if like this was like an organized environment with like speed and like other stuff, right? Assuming this high ground doesn't matter, right? What your team would do, right? You saw this a lot in Goats. Was that when your Rein pushes, right? Everyone swings wide at the same time, right? So your Zarya, your D.Va maybe would go high ground, or like would just push around over here, would like boost over here even, and then like your Zen would go wide as well, as far away from the corner as possible, right? And the Rein would just push into the other Rein, right?
Okay.
But in the absence of that, right, you need to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I didn't play during Goats.
Oh, okay.
I'm relatively new.
All right, that's fine. Wait, you're already 3,400 then? Whoa, you're popping off. Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, if your team is not gonna go wide, you need to go wide, right? And your team has a difficulty going wide because they're both like double like range DPS, right? your Zarya is super low also, so this is maybe not the best time to push because you're also missing health. But regardless of that fact, like your team is slow, right? And you have like long range DPS, and no one's abusing angles on high ground, right? So you need to create angles for your team by sort of just like soft off angling, right?
Okay.
And like corners are good, right? But if you want to start fights, you need to go wide, right? Or else your team is never going to win on this corner, right? Because sorry, go ahead.
Also, if there's like anything I should like switch like character wise, say something because I don't really know what's the best matchup for whatever. I just imagine that Ryan would be the best with their comp against them.
Uh, Maybe. I mean, like you can play realistically all the main tanks except like Orisa into this, to be honest. Um, Orisa's maybe not even that bad to be honest, because you have like ways of dealing with the part. But like Monkey for example is good because like you can pressure the Ana and it forces the Mercy to make a decision on who to help, right?
Okay.
Ball is good for the same reason, right? Plus he's a bit more self-sufficient in ranked general, and Ryan's fine because Ryan is like always okay in ranked. Um, yeah, like you can play anything here. Like to be honest, like meta really doesn't matter up to a certain point. I mean, sometimes it's just a comp that just doesn't work with the hero you want, right? But like most comps are like okay, right? Because the enemy team will also be using like an equally okay comp, right? This is like not exactly a good comp, right, from the enemy team as well. Um, but I guess the bigger point here is like yeah, like I'm sure you played games where like you play this spot, right? And your shield breaks repeatedly and you're almost dying and you back up and you walk in and you almost die and nothing ever happens, right?
Yeah.
This is why, right? Because their setup is so much stronger than yours and they have so much more damage and your team can never push out because like your team isn't doing this in an organized manner, right? So that's not going to happen. You need to make it happen, right? And you see Cloudy do this a lot on stream. I don't know if you watch him. But instead of
A
like
little bit of him.
yeah, but instead of pushing this Rein, for example, he'll just push out at the Zarya, right? Ideally with speed, but like he'll move in this general direction, right? He'll create an off angle. He'll go wide. Like, do you see how like you extended around the corner to trade? So if you are gonna
Yeah.
trade, make sure you're trading in this direction, right? You almost died though, so you know.
Yeah, I realized they got nanoed, so I think I just kind of backed up. Should I have gone in when we cold or?
I mean, you spent the whole fight running away, trying not to die. So, if anything, you probably went a little too early because like we just saw from like the camera like that your Zarya was super low, right? And that you were also low when you were pushing. So might have been better to wait like wait around the corner for a second or two, wait for health, and then push, right? And then go wide. And again, more organized effort ideally. Although it's always risky in rank because like you never know if your Mercury's just going to like peak and die, right? But
Okay, so when you're saying I should go wide, I can't really mark in the game, but when we're going wide, should I go like halfway or like a little past that junk tire so I shield my team while they peek, or should I have it so it's a little opening on the left side
so
that has no shield?
ideally you have bubble when you do it, so you don't need to hold shield, right? And you just kind of run at whoever you're trying to swing at, right? Force them out, right? Force the Zarya back, right? And now your team can push out with your hit scans and have real angles, right?
Okay.
And now they can see everything. This Ryan's now under pressure to make something happen, and you just need to at that point you can slow it down, right? Either like play with shield here or like back up to here with your shield, as long as your team has the space they need to play the game, right?
Okay.
But initially you trade your health, right? You trade your health and your cooldowns, not your cooldowns, but like the cooldowns that are meant for you, right? Like your like maybe the healing orb, the bubble, right? To like gain space, right? And then after that, use your shield, and any remaining cooldowns to like survive, right? Until you can wait for more cooldowns, and then you can push out again, right?
So when I hold wide, should I just go in or should I just kind of stay in there?
Hold what? Sorry. Oh, wide.
Yeah.
It depends, right? It depends on how much focus you eat going out, right? So if you walk out and your bubble immediately pops and you take 200 damage, just start putting up your shield and backing up, right?
Okay.
And try again in a couple seconds, right? Or wait for them to overextend, etc., right? People get debated all the time by dumb things.
So when my shield's about to break and I'm like halfway through, should I just go all the way right and hold that little corner?
This spot?
Let my shield recharge?
If you can get here, or sorry, or where do you mean?
Yeah, my stream's a little delayed.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, here.
Yeah, that spot.
If you're like halfway, if you're like here and your shield's breaking, right? Go ahead, just run here and hide, right?
Okay.
At that point, you created space. They now either have to look at you or your team, right? And if they look at you, they're getting shot by your team, right? Do you see how wide these angles are?
Yeah.
Like they can't deal with both at the same time, right? So they got to pick one, right? And that either buys you time to recharge your shield, right? or like gives your team a ton of free space while you're getting focused, and even if you die, right, your team will get a lot done. Because like, I mean, in order for Rein to push you, he needs to be shot in the back from like here all the way to here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Same deal with Zarya, right? Like, and this is why clearing high ground is important, because if a guy's sitting here, he just shoots you, right? But like, your team cleared it, right? So you gotta go. All right. Whoops. Yeah. Any questions on any of that?
No, I understand for most of it, but I have one question.
Yep.
There's like a little back entrance for the enemy team when they respawn, and if there was like a torb there or junk, what would I do? Like,
What do you mean back
and
entrance
I'm
here?
1 second, let me stream catch up. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Like, if there's a junk there, how would I push?
So you would push like this, right? And then see if one of your teammates is dealing with this, and if they're not, like, go in there and fight them yourself.
Okay.
Like again, you have to clear off angles, right? In ideal world, right? When you do this, you tell your Zarya about this, right? And your Zarya will just walk in behind this and clear this for you, right? And then you just like do your job of like holding this corner or like going wide, right? Whatever the case may be. But if like there's a serious problem here, right? Like you kind of maybe have to address it yourself, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Or you just ignore it, go around the left side of the map, right? And it's no longer an issue, right?
okay, thank you.
Yeah. You just need to like isolate angles, right? So if you're pushing, right, you've isolated this angle, right? So push the angle, right? Or have someone else do it. But the point is, this needs to be addressed because otherwise you're being shot in the back while you're hiding here, right?
Okay.
Or you ignore the angle and isolate it, and now it's still useless, right? It's now just a normal angle.
For the most part, I did kind of the same this whole attack, I think.
Mhm.
There was one time I went wide, but
Okay.
we kind of just got full held in there, I think.
That's unfortunate. Ah, the pin sketch. All right. So the problem with this pin, right, is if you pin from here, where does it put you?
In the center back line.
In here. We just talked about earlier why this pin was okay, right? But this pin
Yeah.
wasn't, right? So be careful with these pins. If you have the time, try and like jump in this direction before you go to the pin, right?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna look good and I was gonna hit like the other side of the wall and onto their back line, but then I kind of realized when I got booped, it kind of saved me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so when you're pushing here, when you're trading, right, don't stand here in front of him, right? Go this way, right? Also, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what is she
Wait,
doing here?
I don't know.
Anyways, but the point is, like, these areas Zarya is kind of stacked with you, and this Rein can potentially shield all of it at the same time, and like,
Yeah.
there's no real pressure elsewhere in the map, right? You want to go wide as fast as possible when you still have health, right?
If I happen to shift into Orion right now, if I had it, wouldn't that be a good plan? Because I don't see anyone with him except Ana on height and Zarya on the other height.
So optimally, no, but from a rank perspective, could be good.
Okay.
If it results in you killing him, right, without you dying.
Yeah.
So if, like, for example, no one actually pays any attention to him, maybe like this Ana is focusing on the Zarya, which I think she is right now. If you were to pin this guy and kill him without him getting any help, right, and then you don't die for it, that's a good play because, you know, it's hard to have that kind of impact consistently, right? It just
Okay.
like the result is kind of inconsistent because you don't actually know where the focus is right now. So in a scrim environment, I would say no. In a ranked environment, if you feel like you need to in order to get the kill, right, go for it.
Oh, our Moira's getting beamed. I did
Yeah.
not see that.
And I mean, in an ideal world, hopefully she has fade. Please tell me she has fade. She has it. Okay, so she shouldn't die here, right? She should just fade out over here, and she should be fine, right? We'll see what happens. My guess is she dies. All right, nice. She didn't die. Where did she fade? Did she not fade? Okay, she just faded in place, I guess.
Oh, I didn't realize we got grabbed.
Yeah. Nice spin. Unlucky. Alright, now you just gotta live. Don't walk at him. Alright. Alright. I don't care how low he is. He has nano and you're purple, right?
Yeah, okay.
He is much scarier than you, right? You gotta walk away from him and hide and buy time, right? Yeah, you just straight up die. Like, realistically, you guys weren't winning this fight anyways, but you could, like, either force out more ults or, like, buy time for you to build more ults, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if, for example, you Zarya got to play more of that fight and had, like, say, like, 40% ult, right? It's a pretty difference. Hey, free kill. Right again, right, go this way, right? I'm sure you get it now. You see what the Zarya's doing, right? See how she's playing the wide
Yeah.
angle all the time? And it makes it really difficult for your team to do anything.
I never thought of going wide once before in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a mentality for Rhinos, because, like, it's been beaten to your head to play corners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, again, if you don't play wide, you don't get to start fights oftentimes. So you kind of have to, right? It's obviously not ideal, right? But ranked is never ideal, right? So you have to make do with what works.
I think I might go in since I saw that Rein low. Oh, I am so.
But again, do you see how, like, you're just pushing yourself into the concave, right?
Yeah.
Like, this, what's more important is, like, once you get this Ryan low, walk at these guys, right? Block these guys out of the fight, threaten a shatter, right? Make this Ryan have to do something about it, you know?
Okay.
Because, like, if you're low and the Ryan's running at you, you're scared, right? But if you're low and you're backing up, and this Ryan is running this way, like, what do you even do, right? You can't go and fight him because you're low, right? But if you let him into your backline dies, right?
Okay. Yeah. I
So-
kind of feel like this whole game now, and I realize that.
Yeah. I mean, it's I won't call this feeding because, like, again, most Ryans think like this. Everyone just, like, is, like, so tied to, like, the original idea of the Ryan being the main tank, and then, like, you just, like, walk down main, right? But, like, main sucks. Main really does. So anytime you can hit a squishy, that's when you're happy as Ryan. Which is realistically the whole point of speed, right? If you have speed right now, right, and the Ryan's here, right, and the Zarya's here, and you speed in, you're not trying to hit the Ryan with speed because you can hit him without speed, right? You want to use speed to get to here and hit the Ana, right?
Okay, wait. So about the hitting squishy part, should I
Yeah.
listen to Cloudy about that? Because he was like, Ryan's on main tank or whatever, and he's like off whatever, or offlining off corner or whatever, like DPS hero or whatever. I don't know.
Kind of. I mean, Ryan's kind of always been a DPS hero. It's just that people play him not as one, you know? The big thing is, like, he's even more DPS heavy than he used to be because he's got crazy damage and more armor, right?
Okay.
And the big thing is just like I mean, the thing is, like, if you hit a Ryan, right, and the Ana's healing him, right, life kind of sucks, right? And you also you're getting threatened by, like, a nade the whole time, right? Like, if you get antied and he gets heal buffed, right, you just lose, right? So what you want to do is you want to threaten the Ana, make the Ryan have to like try and help the Ana at the last second, right? It's like playing Monkey, right? Like, it just as a more extreme version, right? Monkey.
Dude, I'm a worse monkey. You have.
Oh,
You're
okay,
gonna
well,
see this at the end, dude. You're
all
gonna
right,
see
all right.
it.
But as Monkey, you don't really want to hit tanks, right? You do when
Yeah.
you have to, right? But for the most part, you want to go for backline and make the tanks have to turn around to deal with you, right? And you use your superior mobility, blah blah blah, right? But Reinhardt is like a really tanky, like, strong version of Monkey, and you use speed to substitute for jump, right? And vertical mobility. That's why
Okay.
Ryan and Lucio go together so well, right? And why Ryan without Lucio is kind of sad sometimes, right? Because you just physically don't have the ability to get here sometimes, right? And also, high ground setups can prevent you from doing anything, right? If they're all playing high grounds, like, how do you rush, right? But just generally, right? You'll just have more consistent impact if you can hit squishies and not tanks.
Okay.
It's like DPS, right? I don't know if you play much DPS, but as pretty much any DPS character, if you have to shoot the shield, you shoot the shield. But 9 times out of 10, you'd rather not shoot the shield, right? You want to find anything else to shoot, usually squishies, right? Because squishies are real pressure, right? Because, like, if a Genji is missing 40 health, he's scared, right? But if a Ryan's missing 40 health, it literally doesn't matter, right? Does that make sense?
So yeah, so when swinging for a squishy, there's a mercy as an option. Would you rather go and tank's another option? Would you rather hit the mercy or like try to chase a mercy or the Ryan or the other tank? I mean.
It depends on how realistic killing the Mercy is. Because if,
Okay.
like, you're just chasing down a Mercy and she's just running from you and you don't get a single hit in, that's not real pressure, right? She's just running away from
Okay.
you. But if she's, like, trapped in a corner with no one to run to, like, just kill her, right? You know. Hey, Big Res. Right. So, do you see that? Do you see that? Sorry, that was too speed, and you're gonna see it in a second. But did you see that? What just happened there?
What? Oh, I got charged right away.
No, no,
after
no, no,
that.
no, no, no. So you see Ana,
Yeah. Oh.
Reinhardt. I want to fight this guy. See that right there? It's like the instinctive, like, like reaction of Reinhardt's to see another Rein be like, I'm gonna ego duel this guy. But like,
I think I wanted to charge, but I fire strike and screwed myself, and because he charged and I didn't have enough reaction speed or whatever.
yeah,
Because I saw Nazari in our backline too, so
yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't
like,
really think of Ana.
yeah. I mean, if you're charging to like try and salvage the fight, that's totally fine, right? But again, like immediate reaction shouldn't be this guy. It should be this guy. Like, oh my god, I'm right next to this guy. I worked so hard to get here, right?
Yeah.
I should kill this guy, right? Yeah, and you get pinned. That's whatever. The fight's already lost. But if you're going to win the fight, it was by killing the Ana or by like killing the Rein with like the pin or something, right? But realistically, killing the Ana is actually a lot more likely because the Ana will just save the Rein if you pin him, right? Alright, so you see Zarya on high ground, so if possible, you should be trying to communicate people to go high ground. You don't have to do it yourself, but you can always lead it, right? And it convinces people to follow, usually. Alright, you're backing up. Team is clearing high ground. Never mind. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, cool. Right, high ground is cleared. Nice. Watch out for Shatter here. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know if you're ready for Shatter. Or, like, you were mentally ready here. But, like, if I see a Rein coming up here and he's looking down this hallway, like... I am terrified of Shatter here.
No, I kind of don't think of that. At this point, I think I'm just like, we finally made it to height. I need to get these guys off it.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. You want to get him off, right? But like, if he comes out here and he's staring you down this corridor, right? Like, and your team is behind you, especially because you just led them up here. Like, you got the warning. There needs to be alarm bells. You know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's okay. Well, they're just gonna grab, I guess. I mean, that also works, I guess. Ball.
Oh yeah, I tried to touch and I just failed miserably.
Ball's really hard, so don't worry about it.
At this point, I regret not going behind, so I could set up.
Yeah, you had time, so you definitely didn't need to like just go straight to point.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna comment too much on it though, because it's like late situation. Ooh, Monkey. Okay, so first of all, Monkey is very good on second, offense or defense, but he's like decent enough on offense on first, but he's not very good on defense on first. You need to be like very good at Monkey in order to make it work.
So should I go on like Devo or Sig?
Do you have another?
Our other tank went to run dive.
Diva Sig are both fine. If you're gonna play like Monkey Ball, right? Like again, the strat probably makes more sense with just Monkey Ball, right? Diva Sig are also okay though. Hog is actually surprisingly good here. I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Just keep in mind, I didn't realize you had a ball, but like if you're trying to play like some Monkey centric comp, right? Like a Monkey Zarya, Monkey Diva, this is the point he struggles the most with probably. On defense.
Yeah, I kind of just feed it this and we get stomped pretty quickly. So
yeah. The big problem with this map, with this point, is like how do you stage on defense, right? Where are you supposed to set up for a dive, right?
Usually on height, but this height's kind of iffy because it's right in main.
Yeah, they just shoot you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what most monkeys will do as first fight, they just like hide here. They just sit here and wait for the enemy backline to walk in front of them, and then like walk out and bubble, right?
Okay, I thought about that, but I thought I was gonna get like jumped right away.
Yeah, this is very high risk, high reward, but you'd be surprised how few people check this corner, right?
Okay.
So remember when you walked in, right? You walked in like this, held shield, and then walked back, right? How many times did you look back?
No, I don't think I did it once, dude.
Exactly. Nobody ever looks here, right? So if you're playing Tracer, you're playing Monkey, this is actually a surprisingly good spot for first fight, right? Because the number of people actually look here is relatively small. Sometimes you'll get found and you have to jump out, right? But a lot of times it works, right? And if you're playing with a Zarya or something, right? She can play up here and then bubble you, so even if you do get found, you still have options, right?
Okay.
But this is like the classic spot because everywhere else kind of sucks.
Got it.
After expecting a Monkey, you should check that every time.
Where does it hurt? 5.
Yeah, but you just need places where you can safely play, that let you get free jumps in, right? If you don't have to spend jump, it's even better, right? But there's not a lot of spaces on this map besides like this spot, like we talked about. Alright, if you're gonna play here, you can't make noise though. Okay, you can't play here. They'll see you here, right? You walk in.
Oh, behind the
Yeah. They walk in like,
behind
oh, red thing over there. Huh. You know.
I feel more comfy behind the bush. I don't
Yeah.
know. It felt more cover.
I mean, it's better than here, right? But like, it's still like a little bit questionable because like again, no one checks this, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, we're off to a great start. Yeah. So you see? Okay. Let's actually look to see when they see you, right? Let's see when the Zarya sees you. Like, look, notice the way she's backing up. She doesn't see you until she's here. Right? So, I'm telling you, this is a lot safer than you think it is. Were you saying something?
Oh, sorry. No, I talked to my mom.
Oh, okay. Alright, but yeah, the Zarya doesn't see you until she literally gets here, right? That's why this is a lot safer than you think it is. She backed up this way the whole time, right? And then when she bumps into you, you just like jump over her and then go for the backline with bubble, right? And then you jump out if you get pressured. But now you have to jump in, right? And now this is a very high risk play, right?
Wait, have I been like open mic this whole time?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't know. It's showing that I'm talking when I don't push it down.
I'd assume that's open mic then.
Okay, I think I fixed it. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I was just confused because I thought you were talking to me. But now this is very high risk, high reward because you had to jump in, right? As opposed to walking in and then bubbling and then jumping out, right? Yeah, and you're probably gonna die before you get your bubble. But yeah, you died before you get your jump, right? Also, going this way was probably not the best. I think you just have to try and live inside your bubble for the next like 2 seconds and then jump out, right? Trying to walk up here for the mega. This is like a ball play, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so should I just try to run away from Ryan or like against him back to my team?
You just need to live long enough to jump, right? And you need a spot that you can jump from that's not horrific. Like you can't jump in here, right? That works. Because you can't jump, this is a death trap. It doesn't matter if you get the mega or not, right? And then once you do get the mega, where do you go, right? Like you jump into their spawn, right? Like, which is why, like, yeah, it sucks that you just face tank the Rein for a while, right? But you just need to buy time for your jump in order to get like back to your team, right? Does that make sense? Hello?
My mic's iffy. Hell,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yep. I can hear you. Yep.
it's really iffy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It works. Like, does that make sense though?
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, I think I figured out. I was muting myself.
Oh, okay. No, but this is just suicide. I assume you guys just lose here?
We do, I think.
Alright.
Unless someone carries it. I think we do. Yeah, I just tried to stall when I came back.
Yeah, just whatever. I don't know what to talk about here. Just be careful leaving your bubble. You seem to like just drop your bubble and walk out of it a lot, but
Yeah.
walking out of your bubble is for trapping people. So this is like okay if the Rein was actually someone who would damage you, right? But it's a Rein, so staying in your bubble is better because otherwise you can get hit by the Ana, right? But if you trap an Ana, for example, in a bubble, then walking out of the bubble is better, right?
Okay. I think when I was walking out my bubble forward, I thought there was Mercy over there next to Farah, but
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really fault your monkey. That was kind of like a desperate situation, anyways, from like start to finish, essentially. The big problem was like that jump was like kind of bad, and then you walked into a tunnel, right? But that's more. That seems like more monkey inexperience than like actual like. Yeah, I think you just
also
need to play
just
more.
bad at monkey.
Yeah, you probably just need to play more monkey at that point. Oh, people in my chat I didn't even notice. That's awkward. What SR is this? 3.4K. Um, yeah. So overall, your Rein, just in general, like I think you get a lot of the concepts. You just don't know how to put into practice, right? Like you understand the importance of high ground, like off angle and stuff like that. Like you were talking about, like that room on the right when there's someone there. What do you do, right? That's something else some people don't even consider. But the main thing is like you got to know like what you personally can do about it, right? Because
That's what I think. That's what I'm trying to figure out with. I'm going to like a bunch of different coaches, just trying to figure out what I can do.
yeah, I would highly recommend just watching Spylo, on YouTube or Twitch.
Who's Spylo?
He's a former contenders coach. And he really knows his stuff.
How do you-
Yeah. So It's yeah, it's in chat. That's how you spell it, right? I think it goes by Stormcrow Productions on YouTube, but if you search Spilo, you'll find him anyways. And then on Twitch, he's still Spilo. Just like look up how to like Reinhardt stuff.
I'll leave the voice thing.
Hmm? Wait. Hang on. Yeah.
Wait,
But
what?
sorry, what?
Right.
Yeah, right. No, that's not happening. But yeah. Strongly recommend watching Spilo for just like, yeah, like very like fundamental breakdowns of like the game. And majority of the game is fundamentals, so like don't worry about like specific stuff until like you really got the fundamentals down. Um, and yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, just really focus on like starting fights, like save cooldowns, right? And then try to actually start a fight. Don't just trade with the enemy, right? That's a really easy trap to get into. Only trade when like it makes sense to stall out the fight.
So, how do you do these bot things? Like, can I just send one in like every time you do it, or no?
Every what?
It's a waiting time that I have to wait to send
Uh,
it.
I'd
Play?
prefer like about a week or so, so that way you have time to actually like try the stuff I'm telling you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, feel free to keep sending it. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Oh, he just left. Okay. Pineapple, do you want to use it right now? I'm waiting for Isaac. Yeah. Hey, Mad Dog. Yeah, object permanence is like surprisingly difficult because like there's just so much like it's not really object permanence so much as it's like just tracking information. Oh, I see, I see. Um, uh, just tracking information because there can be so many things happening on screen. Um, that can be difficult to like identify what's important to keep track of and then like mentally like track it, right? Um, because otherwise it's just like colors and pixels and there's so much stuff happening. It's hard to like remember. I always say that like um half the game is just like knowing what's happening around you. Just like literally keeping track of everything that's happening around you, just like literally is probably half the game. Because it's very hard to make good decisions without actually knowing what's going on.